The Zephyrian diplomatic vessel Serenity's Edge had been humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization. What should have been a momentous occasion for both species had devolved into catastrophe when the ship's containment systems failed, releasing something that had been sleeping in their cargo hold for millennia. Captain Elena Rodriguez watched through the observation deck's reinforced glass as the creature, if it could even be called that, stalked through the corridors below. The Zephyrians called it the Devourer of Worlds, a being of pure malevolence that had once consumed entire star systems before they managed to contain it. Now it was loose on their ship, and every living thing aboard was prey. The evacuation had been swift but incomplete. Families were separated in the chaos, and now, as the last shuttle bay sealed, Rodriguez realized with growing horror that 8-year-old Marcus Chen was still aboard. The boy had been part of the cultural exchange program, eager to meet aliens and share his drawings of Earth's animals. Now he was trapped somewhere in the ship's maze of corridors with a creature that had made cosmic apex predators flee in terror. "We cannot leave orbit," declared Zeph Commander Thalys, his crystalline features trembling with fear. "If the Devourer reaches your planet's surface, it will consume everything. Your entire species will be extinct within cycles." Rodriguez gritted her teeth. Standard protocol demanded they destroy the ship, but a child was still aboard. A human child. She opened communications to the ship's internal systems, hoping beyond hope. Marcus, can you hear me?" Static filled the channel for long moments before a small voice responded. "Captain Rodriguez? I'm scared. There's something big and mean looking for me." The bridge fell silent. Even the Zephyrians, who had initially dismissed humans as a primitive species barely worthy of contact, listened intently. "Where are you, sweetheart?" Rodriguez kept her voice steady, though her hands shook. "I'm in the place with all the pretty lights. The science room. The main laboratory." Rodriguez's heart sank. It was on Deck 7, directly in the creature's path. Through the monitors, she could see the Devourer's massive form, 12 feet of writhing shadow and teeth, moving with predatory grace toward that very section. "Marcus, listen to me very carefully. You need to hide. Find the smallest space you can and—" "It's here," the boy whispered. On the screen, they watched the Devourer phase through the laboratory's sealed door like it was made of mist. The creature had consumed the life force of entire civilizations, had torn through the Zephyrians' most advanced military forces like paper. Nothing had ever stood against it and survived. But Marcus Chen was not nothing. Marcus Chen was human. The boy stepped out from behind a workstation, clutching something in his small hands. Rodriguez realized with growing dread that it was one of his drawings, a crayon sketch of his family dog, Max. "Hey," Marcus said to the cosmic horror before him. "You look sad." The Devourer paused. In 1,000 millennia of existence, nothing had ever addressed it with anything but fear or rage. This small creature, this human child, looked at it with something else entirely. "Are you hungry?" Marcus continued, his voice steady despite the trembling of his hands. "My mom always says people get mean when they're hungry." "Do you want to see my picture? This is Max, he's my dog. He was scared when we first got him from the shelter, but then we gave him love and food, and now he's the best dog ever." The Devourer leaned closer, its form shifting and writhing. Up close, Marcus could see something the long-range sensors had missed. This wasn't malevolence made manifest. This was pain. Ancient, endless pain. "You're not a monster," Marcus whispered, reaching out one small hand toward the creature. "You're just hurt, aren't you? Like Max was hurt." The creature's form began to shift, becoming less shadow and more something else. Something smaller. Something broken. I consume." The Devourer spoke for the first time in eons, its voice like the death of stars. "I devour. It is what I am." "No," Marcus said firmly, with all the certainty that only a child can possess. "That's just what you do because you hurt, but you don't have to. Look." He held up his drawing. In crayon and childhood imagination, he had drawn not just Max, but Max as he was now. Happy, loved, whole. Around the dog were stick figures of his family, all smiling, all together. "Everyone can be happy if someone cares about them," Marcus said. "Even you." The Devourer stared at the drawing, and for the first time in its existence, something other than hunger stirred in its core. The child wasn't offering fear to feast upon or rage to consume. He was offering something the creature had never encountered, something it couldn't devour because it was freely given. Compassion. Please, the devourer whispered, its massive form beginning to shrink. Please, I don't want to be hungry anymore. I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. Marcus stepped closer and, to the absolute shock of everyone watching, wrapped his small arms around what had once been the terror of the galaxy. It's okay, he whispered. You don't have to be hungry anymore. The transformation was visible even from orbit. The creature's form dissolved completely, replaced by something that looked almost peaceful. The ship's atmospheric readings showed the return of normal life support functions. The oppressive weight of malevolence that had pressed down on every living thing aboard simply vanished. Captain Rodriguez found them hours later, when it was finally safe to board the ship. Marcus was asleep in the laboratory, curled up next to what appeared to be a large, dog-like creature made of starlight and cosmic dust. The being that had once devoured worlds now served as a gentle guardian to a sleeping human child. Zeph Commander Thalas stood in the doorway, his crystalline form trembling, not with fear this time, but with something approaching awe. In all our cycles of existence, he whispered, in all our advanced understanding of the universe, we never thought to offer it kindness. Rodriguez nodded, carefully lifting the sleeping boy. The creature of starlight opened eyes that held the wisdom of eons and the innocence of the newly reborn. It spoke one last time, its voice now gentle as a summer breeze. Thank you, small human. Thank you for teaching me that even monsters can choose to be something else. As the rescue shuttles arrived and the crisis finally ended, word spread throughout the galaxy of what had transpired. The humans, those supposedly primitive beings the Zephyrians had barely deemed worthy of contact, had achieved something that the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy had failed to accomplish. A human child had faced the ultimate evil and seen not a monster, but a being in pain, and in doing so he had saved not just his own world but countless worlds yet to be born. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again,